Hey everybody, it's Il Dottore. It's Dr. Alhan Garzode here. Hope you all had a pleasant work week and a study week. Want to take some time and take a look back and then take a look forward as to what's coming up. So of course this week we were dedicated to taking a look at how it is that theory is going to be informing your practices and of course your capstone project as well. And that's actually when we started diving into this beautiful text by Anion and Dumas and Linville and Nolan and Perez and Tuck and Weiss. And I keep referring to it as Anion, and of course she is the lead author of this text. But it's written by many wonderful, brilliant people. So it's an important thing to, I hope you guys have already read the introduction piece. We're going to be talking about it quite a bit on Wednesday when we get back together, if you're so inclined to join us, if you're in the online course. But of course, all of us in the 610 course will be meeting again on Wednesday because of course Monday is Memorial Day. What else did we do this past week? We took a look at what a literature review is, what its purpose is, and just like there are 6 steps in the research process, there's 6 steps in the lit review process, which I'm sure you've all at this point memorized. It's listed very clearly in the Creswell-Guterman text, chapter 3, reviewing the literature. Incidentally, I think I mentioned this in class, but I just want to say this in this video. Just note that the chaptering is different from the older versions of the Creswell-Guterman text than the current version, which is what I'm citing. So for example, not citing, what I'm assigning. So for example, I noticed that my chapter 3, I think is chapter 4 in the older versions. I can't remember. So just make sure you're following not only the chapter numbers that are required, but the actual content you should be reading for those of you who are using an older edition of this text. We also hit up our conversation. We started our conversation about critical social theory and critical race theory as well. And of course, we're going to continue that discussion as we move forward into your next week in the 4th section, where we're going to be now identifying our research questions. So in the previous section, in this last week, the idea is for you to gear up to be able to produce knowledge. And then in this week, we're going to actually start to produce knowledge, getting into our literature review itself, and in so doing, identifying some research questions for your research project. So we'll take a look at what is the difference between purpose statements and research questions and hypotheses and objectives. And there might come a time where you might say, why do I care? What difference does it make if I know what the definition of this is or the definition of that is? It matters, because understanding those concepts allows you to refine your work, allow you to rescope the research that you are trying to do. Sometimes what ends up happening is you might find that your objectives are not really aligned with the purpose that you set out for. And sometimes you'll be totally blind to that until you share that with either a co-researcher or an associate or a colleague or a friend right here at the University of Redlands, and then they can point those kinds of things out. So we'll definitely be learning a lot more about the differences between those elements of your final proposal that you'll be submitting at the end of this course. Also going to be taking a look at quantitative purpose statements. We'll take a look at hypotheses and how they differ from how they're actually quite commonly seen in quantitative projects, but not so much in qualitative or mixed methods. Of course, they certainly can be. And you're also going to be starting up that purpose statement, which is a big part of your final proposal that you're going to submit. And you're going to include those research questions that you're going to be popping through. Now, you'll notice that popping through the reading that you'll go through, which is chapter 4, I believe, of the Creswell-Guterman text, and asking you to read the chapter, the article, what should count as educational research? Again, same authors that you took a look at of the previous dialogue about the use of social race theory. It's with Tate and Latz and Billings. And it comes from a larger text called Education Research in the Public Interest and how social justice and action plays into into all of that, especially the policy development component. And then there's a cool little video there. We put a little lesson together. I think you'll like it. It's just like the other lessons where we try to provide you with it's an interactive action that you can mess with. Take a look at some of the content and help you shape your own understanding of what exactly we're talking about when we say purpose statements or research questions or hypotheses and the such. So, as I mentioned, Monday, Memorial Day, there's no school in session. At least that's what the calendar says. So I urge you, however, to not let it go. I mean, of course, relax, enjoy. I'm sure many of you are going to probably hit the beach, just at least with the new shows. It looks like everybody's out on the beach someplace. But if you're not, if you don't have a lot of plans, like myself, it might be a good idea to hunker down and just start creating a reading list. And again, we did part of that last week, if you recall, when you start to generate search terms, and we're going to pop those in and start creating those lists. If you recall, we talked about narrowing down your list, and of course, it's all very well delineated in the Cresswell Lit Review section. I'm around if you need me. Certainly jump up on Twitter. I'm just trying to tweet a little bit more about some research concepts. And not research concepts, but teaching and learning in general. And I'd love to see you coming on with Twitter, guys. I know Twitter might seem like, what's the point? But all educators, in my opinion, should have a Twitter account because you do a lot of professional development through Twitter. That's my professional development, my own professional learning as a seasoned administrator who's worked at the state level, the county level, the district level, and at the school level. I've got to keep on learning, right? I got a good solid 70, 80 years left. That's right, folks. I am going to be a centurion? I'm planning on living up to 100. Won't you help me? So anyway, I will see you all on Wednesday. Wednesday's going to be fast and furious. If you are not yet quite feeling like you're landing, you're starting to see the line of a project that you're going to be pursuing here, I think it's time for you to send me a text or an email. Text is best, so that we can connect and have a conversation about what your idea is. I'd be happy to help you think things through, or at the very least provide you with some guidelines, because this is right about the time where we're starting to hit the point of no return, if you will, right? Because once we start getting deep into the 5th week, at that point, you should really be solid, because you're going to be producing a lot of text on that 5th week. Of course, you've got my cell phone number, you got my Twitter feed, my Twitter handle, which is @Garzade, and I'm hoping to see you guys on Wednesday. So long.